3-5 profile, riding across of tension. The advantage of the 3-5 is that it can lead us to the secrets of what mutation is. Because if you understand this cross, you also understand that you're dealing four mutative channels. You're dealing with four archetypal mediums for the immutative process. There's a great deal that can be understood in that. There's a great deal that can be deduced from that. And to see that as well is despite the fact that in circuitry we see that only in individuality is the mutative meaning, that there are mutative forces of transcendence from the individual to the tribe and the collective, and it operates through the 21 and the 48. So we're dealing with a very, very powerful force. These things need to be exposed. The archetype for the 3-5 consciousness is Darwin. Then discovery is not only that we evolve, but we evolve relative to our environment. And of course, relative to our environment is also the evolution of humanity, intellectual development of humanity varies depending on the climate and the results of the climate on how we have to adapt. If you have to build a building and reside within it and cut yourself off from the sky, you have a different consciousness than somebody who lives basically outside. And it begins a long process of changing the nature of consciousness, mutating the nature of consciousness. It's one of the things about cold climates, and where most of it appears to be in the genius of humanity originates in colder climates, but it originates in colder climates because you're closed in. The stillness of the 52 begins to take over. And the moment that you're closed in, the moment that you spend more time in the inside, is the time you have a reflection. It's more time you have to develop strategies because the amount of time on the outside becomes limited and you can do and get the things that you need. They had a mini ice age in England in the Middle Ages, and it got very cold. This was a clear example of a form mutation. In that area, the nobility lived in the higher form, the servants lived in the main area, the castle. The reasoning for that was that, of course, the heat was rising, but when the mini ice age came, it was no longer efficient. They had to create enclosed spaces above and below and heat from the bottom up. And the bottom turned out to be warmer than the top, which is why if you go to the English countryside into a two-floor house, take a room on the bottom floor because it gets chilly as you move up. And of course, that created something else. You had to invent a staircase. And inventing the staircase changed about the way in which we would design buildings in terms of levels and on and on and on. It also was a time in which indoor games were invented. Games like chess became popular, the art of creating tapestries, and all these kinds of things. In other words, we have form mutation. And form mutation is driven by a 3-5 frequency. It's a deep recognition and discovery of first the fragility of the four and the mutative potential in the four to dream of. How the form can be best dealt with, how we can best compensate for the fragility of the illusion, and how we can plan for that. And of course, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about what we create. In other words, what we create is the need to create a mutative vision to understand that times are going to change. To understand that you're going to place a lot of structure in an enclosed area, then you have better plan for the movement of traffic before rather than later. You got to be able to see that the form needs to be changed, and then you have to provoke. This is not just going to happen. It's so easy for cross attention people to say there's something coming down the road. We should be ready for it. And the others are nodding their head. It doesn't mean we're going to do anything about it. It's like my broadcast today. For anyone as the 44 gate to understand there are potential bridge, and there are potential bridge for bringing a major epidemic into a life within a matter of 6 or 7 months. Now, it would be great if everybody on earth who has a 44 gate could understand what that means. To take precautions because the precautions are not a big deal. It would save us a lot of time and energy. The fact I know that it doesn't mean anything. The fact I put it out on the airwave, well, it's not like I'm reaching millions of people. I'm not. So there's going to be somebody out there that's going to act as a bridge. They're going to be the one. Typhoid Mary. They're going to be the one that's going to bring a new influenza into the world. And they're the one going to have the 44 gate. They're probably going to be the fourth line. And we could have prevented it. So one of the things that all heretics know is that it's great to bring a heresy. But boy, do you need foot soldiers. You need to provoke us. Then we go to the 3-6. So it's very about this time right now. The influenza, the flu, it's spreading. It's really this time. The 3-6 here can be powerful. It can be so powerful because it realizes that you can constantly mutate, constantly changing, constantly muting. Why you think about a product that needs to mutate every 10 years? There's no profit in it. How about a product that mutates every 6 months? When you're looking at a 3-6 on this cross, you know they invented the upgrade. This is the 3.6 classic contributions on the scrolls. Yes, yes, wasn't that product wonderful 3 months ago? You need an upgrade. It's like having the Microsoft platform. Every other day there's an upgrade. Security upgrade. 1 zillion, 9 trillion, the 3.6 upgrade system. So it's always upgrading. I would love to see all these Awake 3.6 with the Sun 39, giving us all their fabulous upgrades. I for one, would like to have a Larynx upgrade. It would be wonderful. Somebody comes over with some delightful machine that goes sound and gets rid of 45 years of smoking. He cleans it all out. I wouldn't mind a lung upgrade, a kidney upgrade. Give me an upgrade. I'm ready. After all, that's what we work on. We're working on upgrades. Let's upgrade the form. Let's clone it, bone it, home it, I don't know. It's upgrade time. And this is the 3.6 because the 3.6 recognizes something. It recognizes if we are mutative, we're always mutative. We can't just keep on mutating. We can just keep on mutating. We can just keep on developing and then we get the frenzy. This is our civilization. You can see how frenzied it become. Look at the amount of new forms that have emerged since the Second World War and compare that to humanity's first 80,000 years. It's like, wow, talk about frenzy, talk about upgrade, a gazillion upgrades, just the costumes. Have been through seasonable upgrades since now. It's an ongoing business. We could make a lot of money shaping forms. After all, the fashion business is the 3.6 on this cross. Let's upgrade the costume. Upgrade, upgrade. Look at these magazines with all these pictures. This is the provocation, particularly when you're very expensive things they wear. This is the provocation. They're provoking you. They're provoking you to upgrade. And if you don't upgrade, you're left behind. If you're not wearing what's in, if I hadn't bought my son an iPod, I would have been a war criminal number one. No choice. And he's got three 39s, my oldest son. Not only do I get a 35, 39, 50 little one, I'm married to a 39. I know all about this. I live in a perfect environment to truly be a master. I will test every fraction of every second of every day. The gods know quite well that I just have the perfect prison guards. They keep me in line, keeping my frequency clean. So you can see that there's a 3.6 can be deeply valuable. When it comes to three combinations, I do like to show the good side because we don't even have to contemplate the bad side. And the negative side is of the 3.6 on the scrolls is that these are beings that appeared never, ever, ever to be stable in any way. It's the extreme cliche of the latter stable, but it's work. These are people that are constantly mutating. They are Jewish one week and they're Muslim the next. And they give it all up for the ostrich farming, and then they give it up for the ostrich farming for gay marriage, and then they give up the gay marriage for trucking in, and it goes on and on and on. You look at them and you think problems. Where's my next career? You can imagine how provocative they are to anyone who knows them. What are you doing this month? Let's be provocative. Let's provoke.